Welcome to another episode of Live With It. This is the show where the DTNS family of folks lives with a gadget or a service or a product long enough to feel like we really know what's going on with this product. I am Sarah Lane. This is me today, and we're talking about the good, the bad, the ugly of rice cookers. Joining me is Roger Chang, who probably knows more about rice than I do. Hi, Roger.
Hi, Sarah. Yes, I am a regular rice eater. Not every day, because you have to be careful about your gluten and the amount of carbs you get in. But you know, it's a staple of my diet, and I love rice cookers.
So I never had a rice cooker before, just a few weeks ago. So let's talk about what we are living with today. This is called the #1 Cuckoo electric pressure rice cooker warmer. If you're interested in the exact specs, the product information is CRP P0609S series. This is the 6-cup. There is also a 10-cup option. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like. It is, I'm not in my kitchen, obviously. This is, it's full of rice right now, so it's kind of heavy. But this is a fairly large kitchen item. Again, this is the 6-cup. There is a 10-cup option that I just would not need. But this is what we're dealing with here. So it's a rice cooker, but it actually is a pressure cooker for a lot of other things. We will get to that. But first things first. Cuckoo's website lists it at $270. You might say, it's a little pricey. I mean, what do I need this for? You can get it discounted. When I last checked last night on Amazon, it was $131.99. So, you're still looking for over $200 for this.
So let me ask you this before we get too far into it. Before, when we used to bring up rice cookers, you were very blasé about the idea of owning a rice cooker because, rice actually is relatively easy to prepare. If you have a pot, you're boiling water, you just got to mind it so you don't scorch the bottom of it.
Right.
What was it about a rice cooker that sort of, or what kind of influence came over you that sort of changed your mind about trying a rice cooker?
Well, it was you and a variety of other folks who I know who were like, no, the rice cooker, you got to have the rice cooker. And I was exactly what you're describing. I was like, but you just put rice and water on the stovetop, and you have to mind it. You have to make sure, you don't undercook or overcook. But is this really that hard? So I was always like, nah, I don't need a rice cooker. However, once I got the Cuckoo, I quickly realized that it is a kitchen game changer. So let's talk about some specs here.
Yeah.
This particular one is when it says 6 cups, that means 6 uncooked cups of rice, meaning that you're ending up with 10, 11, right? Because rice obviously expands and, absorbs moisture.
Even for a normal family of 4, I would say you really only need 3 cups of rice unless you are a restaurant or you just eat rice regularly.
Totally. Exactly. It's like I have actually never, full disclosure, I have never done 6 actual cups in here just to see if I could. 3 cups is fine for me because then I end up with 6, 7 cups, and that's rice for the week. So here's one thing about the Cuckoo rice cooker is that it has a lot of different settings. So you've got glutinous rice, brown rice, GABA rice. GABA rice is rice that has been sort of soaked for a while, so it sprouts, basically.
Got it.
And so you're cooking that differently. You have turbo modes if you have a time constraint. If you're just going high heat, like I got to make rice in 10 minutes type thing. You can cook rice for, I would say, 4 to 6 people in about 30 minutes. if you're really going for it. And for somebody like me, you can make rice for about a week. And it also has a mixed rice and also sort of like mixed heat option for other things.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. As a rice cooker user, I often use it to steam vegetables. You can warm up leftovers. That's pretty much what I do. I warm up leftovers in it because unlike a microwave, it doesn't dry out what you're eating unless you need it to be dry.
100%. 100%. So the first thing I did when I got the rice cooker, first day, I was just sort of like, opened up the box. I was like, let's do it. And what's funny about the Cuckoo is that it's not a smart device. It's not connected to the internet, but it will talk to you, like, hi, my name's Cuckoo. Let's do
so
rice.
it has a voice. It's voice activated, or it just talks to you?
It just talks to you. Yeah, you talk back and forth. However, the default voice is Korean. And so when I first got it, I was like, how hard could this be? So I just, put some rice and some water in there, just like pressed a button. I was like, I think we're doing it right. That night, I had the best rice of my life. Not even kidding.
And this was straight out of the box.
Straight out of the box. Yeah. Okay. Straight out of the box. However, when the next time I was like, all right, well, let's try to do something else. Like, let's do some hard-boiled eggs because I love eggs. And, a steamer, great for that. I was like, the Korean language, because I don't speak Korean at all. I was like, yeah, I got to change the language. So this is where the Cuckoo manual comes in, because you think you know manuals. You've never seen a manual like this. It is, and now it seems like crazy thick because it actually is just in a variety of different languages, but like in the English section, it really tells you all the things you have to do in order to, for example, change the language from Korean to English. Chinese is Mandarin is also
an option.
And it's like you gotta like hit one button for 3 seconds and then hit another button and then flip it's not intuitive. You would never know this.
So if you were to look at it like I bought it and I took it out and I just stared at the front, there's nothing clearly like, oh, this is how I started. You need to look and read up on the manual first.
You can start it. You can like I did the first night. You can put rice and water in there and hope for the best, and turned out great. But anytime you want to do a variety of other menu options, of which there are many. Again, all in the Cuckoo manual. They have a whole recipe section in the back that I only saw like 2 days ago. You're never going to understand it otherwise.
You mentioned hard-boiled eggs as one of the things, but you've cooked other ingredients in it. Can you do a short overview of what you've cooked so far that wasn't rice or eggs?
Yes. So the first thing I did was rice, just regular old jasmine rice, that I had in the cupboard. It was great. That's what I have in here right now. Then the next thing I did was hard-boiled eggs, which I did 6 eggs. You have to cover them with water, but there's room in the chamber. What's cool about it is that this is a pressure cooker. They call it a rice cooker, so it's like, of course, it's about rice. But for anybody out there saying, well, I just don't eat a lot of rice, why would I want this? You can use this for so many things. It is a steamer, a vegetable steamer. You can cook it would have to be a small chicken to, fit inside, but you can do that as well. There are, again, going back to the manual, Cuckoo has like all these like really
recipes,
fun recipe ideas. Yes. And okay, so I'll share a few of them with you. Like, you got boiled barley, you got mushroom ton, you got steamed rib, steamed rice cake, potato, boiled pork, steamed clam, steamed fish. So you get you're starting to get the theme. I am a person who I cook a lot, and I do a lot of stuff on the stovetop. I don't do a ton of stuff in the oven, in my conventional oven in the kitchen, because I have a June oven, which is a smart oven, which I actually reviewed on a Live With It episode, gosh, back in 2020, I think. And I love it, and I use it all the time.
And just to be clear, this rice cooker is not a smart device. It's
not a smart device. No, it seems smart, right? Because you have all these options and it talks to you.
Glutinous rice. Glutinous rice. High heating power. Turbo glutinous rice.
It is not connected to the internet. There's no app. It really just, it has to be plugged in. That's what it needs. And on that note, I mentioned that my kitchen is relatively small. I mean, I have room for the Cuckoo in my kitchen, but if you have a small space, one of the things about pressure cookers is that, the beauty of them is that you add some water on the inside and it just kind of like just pressurizes everything. But the water has to come out at some point. So you will get a lot of steam coming out of the top.
Got it. Yes, rice cookers, that is one of the signs of a good rice cooker is that you get good steam.
What I will say is, especially because I live in Los Angeles and it's the summer right now and it's hot, it's like, it's going to contribute to some heat in a small space. So that's something to consider.
And you've cooked vegetables, you've cooked eggs, you've obviously cooked rice. You mentioned a chicken. Have you cooked any like meats, like fish? I know you mentioned fish. It was one of the recipes.
One of the recipes. So I haven't cooked meat or fish from I was about to say from scratch, from being raw in here yet. It's definitely something that I'm going to do. What I have done very successful is like a broccoli tofu rice situation. Ooh. Where, because there's a setting, and again, I could go through all the setting stuff. It's too complicated to explain right this second, but you can kind of more or less be like, I think like 10, 15 minutes, add some, Japanese barbecue sauce or whatever you're doing in there, some fish sauce, and just kind of let it roll.
I will say everything you described makes this seem like it's the ultimate bachelor, like cooking implement.
Kind of.
Like I believe I was in that mindset where, I want to use at most maybe 2 pots, ideally 1 pot when I cook dinner. I don't want to deal with like an entire sink full of dishes. This seems like you can cram a good deal, like an entire meal into it.
You can. I have definitely, so having had some success with, I made couscous in here. I made some lentils in here. I did some chickpeas. All worked well.
But let me ask you this, like as someone who is very skeptical of the rice cooker lifestyle, you seem to be a convert. What is your overall recommendation for the people who might be in the market for a rice cooker? Is this one that you would easily if you have the money, you want something that's easy to use, generally pretty flexible on the type of stuff you can make with it? Is this this is a no-brainer?
This is a no-brainer. Now, I say that knowing that for a lot of people, it's like anything over $200, or anything over $1, really. This may not be right for you. So there is a price issue there, but I think this is 1,000% the best thing I've put in my kitchen in a long time. It is very versatile. And, I again go back to the whole, it's called a rice cooker, but it is a pressure cooker. So think of it that way. That's what it is. It's a pressure cooker for all sorts of things. Just a lot of people like rice and make rice a lot. So that's what it's marketed as. Obviously, with, the Korean and Chinese communities very specifically. But it is a really great side stove option.
And it's it's relatively easy to clean. You're not sticking this like you don't. There's no special care. You can take that pot element and just stick it in your dishwasher or whatever.
Yes, exactly. I actually don't have a dishwasher, which I did. But yeah, so this guy, which is where everything gets cooked in, which is, again, 6 cups uncooked rice. It's big. It's a medium-sized pot. That just comes out. You put it in your dishwasher, or you clean it out yourself. Also, the unit, when you put everything back in, has an auto clean mode, where basically it just steams the heck out of the whole thing.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's sort of it's. I mean, it doesn't mean that you don't have to clean the stuff itself, but it's designed to, just get rid of any bacteria, any residual stuff, a little, rice nugget here and there. Like that all just gets blasted out of there. So I've been doing that every time after I use it.
So yeah, I mean, it'd be great to hear what it's like after a year, but so far it sounds like a really nice product.
Very positive. 2 thumbs up. Two thumbs up from me for the Cuckoo #1 Cuckoo electric pressure cooker and warmer. And yeah, I mean, who warms rice for 20 hours? You can do it though. You can do it. That's an option. Well, all right. I think everyone knows how much I love my Cuckoo. I really do. It's my best friend, and I can't wait to eat that rice later. But that is it for this episode of Live With It. If you enjoy this episode, please remember that we can only do shows like this with your continued support on Patreon. Thank you so much to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/DTNS to learn more. And we've got a lot of other Live With It episodes coming up, not just from me, but from our DTNS family of folks. Until next time, I am Sarah Lane, and you've been watching Live With It.